There is a moment when the life you know starts to crack, the familiar world wobbles beneath your feet. Few ever sense it as it happens, because you're trained to look outward for signs of what's breaking. But the real fracture is hidden, silent, lodged behind your habits and your stories. You keep searching for change in your life, but nothing outside ever shifts. In memories, dreams, reflections, the message lands with uncomfortable precision. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. You can stare at that sentence for hours, but its weight only sinks in when you're already exhausted by pretending. There comes a day when your job, your friendships, your plans, all of it turns flat, and a hollow ache spreads. Outside, you hit your deadlines, answer messages, put on the same face. Still, somewhere deeper, you know the old shape no longer holds. The problem is, most keep looking for proof in the world they can see. A promotion, a partner, a new place to start over. They chase some external answer that guarantees relief, hoping the right change will finally fix what feels wrong inside. The philosopher warned us, these outside solutions can't close that familiar emptiness. Change does not begin with what you buy, where you live, or who you know. It starts the moment you admit the person you've been isn't working anymore. Stop hunting for different scenery. That's not where you'd find what you're missing. Here's the jolt. You can't outrun yourself, no matter how carefully you disguise the weakness. It sounds brutal, but it's the necessary cut. He insisted that the pain is not a sign of collapse, but of something already breaking open within you. That old shell cracks for a reason. It's a signal, not a failure. The urge to escape, to find a new distraction or role, is a mask that keeps the deeper questions silent. What if this sick ache is not there to be solved, but heard? Picture the version of you that wakes up every morning and walks through days in a fog. The reason you feel so lost isn't just confusion about what you want. It's that you no longer believe the old stories about yourself. The worst part, the more you chase new goals without stopping, the harder it gets to remember what an honest life even looks like. But that's exactly where the opening happens. When your old image of yourself starts to wobble, everything else, work, love, even joy, slumps behind it. If you've ever felt that choking sense of going nowhere, look to the questions you avoid when the noise dies down. The longer you drag that cracked identity through each day, the heavier it all gets. Only by noticing the fracture, really looking at what's been lost, even if you don't know what comes next, does the next step become possible. Carl Jung believed the worst confusion arises when we forget the difference between our mask and our real face. You can wander for years chasing new jobs or cities, trying to patch the emptiness with noise. But there always comes a moment when even that noise quiets down, and you're left with yourself. That's when you notice the cracks running through the image you worked so hard to protect. Every habit, every routine stiffens into armor. Old roles that once kept you safe now start to suffocate you. Instead of freedom, you find yourself echoing the same doubts in every new place you run to. Here's where the shift happens. The world might look unchanged, but the lens through which you see it grows heavy and gray. It's as if you've worn dark glasses for so long, you can't remember if the sky really was this colorless, or if something in you has dulled. Sometimes, it takes losing the things you thought defined you for that question to surface. What am I seeing wrong? The real fight is not outside, it's inside, between the shape you were told to adopt and the voice you keep trying to silence. Now do something you haven't done yet. Stop resisting and really look. In Mysterium Coniunctionis, he offers a key to the whole maze. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. The life you keep waiting for only starts when you stop pretending you don't know what hurts. If you flinched at that, pay attention. Most never reach honesty, even when everything is falling apart. The stubborn ache, the dull exhaustion, is your signal to look at what you've refused to feel for years. But admitting what you see inside is only step one. And there's a cost, a real one, for shedding the old self and stepping closer to the truth. There's a quiet terror in realizing, after all the searching and running, that no change in the world outside you will ever be enough. You can completely remake your routines, chase down new jobs, new friends, new highs. Yet the restlessness always slips back in, heavy behind the eyes. Every attempt to redesign your surroundings brings only a brief lift, never the release you crave. Here's the part that doesn't let you off easy. Nothing out there has the power to fix the ache in here. The philosopher saw how this confusion keeps people stuck for years. It's not that the world has conspired to trap you. It's the old shape of your own mind, the one you never stop to question, still running the show by force of habit. Ask yourself, when did you last feel genuinely awake with nothing to hide behind? That's the danger of drifting too long. You forget what real clarity even looks like. Take grief as an example. When loss arrives, you might move cities, change your habits, commit to new distractions. You run from reminders, hoping the distance will somehow dull the sharpness inside. But the pain reshapes itself around your actions, refusing to go until you finally meet it on its own ground. When you do that, actually face your own sadness instead of pushing it away. Something shifts that you can't undo. Your outer circumstances may look almost identical, but the sense of self inside them takes on light and dimension. Not all damage can be dodged or negotiated with. Not all emptiness comes from lacking what's outside. Your entire orientation shifts the second you admit the longing is already within you. Let this question stop you cold for a second. What would it cost you right now to put down your old story and actually listen? Because the only way out is inward. He lays it bare in memories, dreams, reflections. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. That line isn't meant as escape. It's a demand. If you can look honestly, even once, your old questions break apart. The real power of this inward shift is what follows. Suddenly, setbacks stop feeling like proof of failure. Instead, you recognize them as invitations, drawing out a truer version you might never have met otherwise. It's not easy, but it is possible, and it lasts longer than anything the world can hand you. Not all emptiness comes from lacking what's outside. Change begins within. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and comment below. What old story are you ready to put down?